free agency around the corner, Jets fans are very excited, and they know about the names like Kenny Golladay, the Allen Robinsons of the world, but who are some names that you can tell us that maybe we should be paying attention to a little bit more than the top-tier free agents?
Yeah, well, first of all, those guys you mentioned, I'm not sure those guys are going to be available. Those guys, with the franchise tags down a little this year because the cap is going to be down, there's going to be a lot more guys tagged than we've seen in, I would say, a very long time. Basically any top free agent class, you just take off the first 8 to 10 guys because those guys will be tagged. So I think when you're talking about the expectations of the class, those are some ones, that's one thing to kind of keep an eye on. The other thing is, for the Jets, I would not expect them to come out and make a big splash this year. I'm not saying they're not going to be active. They got a lot of money. I just don't think it's going to be like a big splash. I would focus on, probably the premium positions. Think about the kind of positions that you would want to focus on. That'd be edge rush, corner. Those are obviously two of the biggest ones. And then I would say anything to kind of help improve the offensive line. I think it's pretty fair to say at left tackle, the Jets are fine, probably for a long time. Almost anywhere else, I would say that would probably be a focus. I'm not sure it's going to be a day one guy. I mean, maybe the biggest splash you'll get is whatever happens with Marcus May, which I assume is eventually the franchise tag, unless they can work a deal out. Other than that, I mean, Joe Douglas, I think would like to be someone who thrives on Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rather than someone who makes the biggest splash on Monday at 12:01.
Given the landscape of what the Jets have in free agency in terms of flexibility there and the draft capital, but also taking into account what you said in terms of how you project Joe Douglas will approach free agency, how much better do you think this team can be in 2021?
I think they can be definitely better. Last year, I thought they were better than the record, especially when they got kind of everyone back on the same field, Darnold playing and all that. Could this be an 8-8 team? Absolutely. Again, depending on who they get. Things go so fast in the NFL. So we will see. But I do think that it's going in the right direction. And I think in Robert Saleh, the Jets got a really good one. And I'm really curious to see how this is moving forward for this team.
Yeah, you're so dialed in with everybody in the NFL. What's been the reaction out there as far as the connection? It seems like Joe Douglas was universally respected before he got the job as GM. And we've been talking to people the last couple months about Robert Saleh, and everybody raves about him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and as a football coach, he's very good. I mean, the defense should have been nowhere near as good last year in San Francisco, considering all the guys they lost. They were still balling. They were still one of the better units in the NFL. I mean, as a defensive coordinator, I thought he was excellent. Being a great X's and O's defensive coordinator helps you only a little bit as a head coach. The things I care about were how devoted his players were to him. I think that was one. How he handled all of the different non-X's and O's issues on a defense and on a team, how you lead, and really also how you can multitask, because that's what a head coach is being about, because you step in your office, you expect one thing, and it's 25 different things before you even get to football. So I think, Robert Saleh is going to be really good. I think he is ready for this. And I think it was obvious he was one of the top head coaching candidates last year. And I think the Jets did a good job locking him up.
The 49ers have a lot of expiring contracts, and I think there's a lot of people out there that think that's a natural connection to that Robert Saleh would want to bring players over, even for Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator. Are there any players that you think have a better chance to land with the Jets than others?
Yeah, I mean, I think Richard Sherman is probably the name that, that everybody talks about. I think he's still got a lot left. He's a good guy. He's brilliant. Obviously, the connection with Saleh is strong. We'll see if they end up getting him or if the interest elsewhere is it's rarely that simple, mostly because everyone else gets a shot at these players too.
make sure to turn on your Twitter notifications in the coming weeks for @RapSheet. That, of course, is Ian Rapoport, the NFL Network NFL Insider. Ian, thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thanks, Ian.